Всем привет! Еще раз. Так. Музыку убавляем. Так, ну вроде все теперь нормально. Быстро сохранение также работает. Предметы общие. Ничего нету. Да утка? Или как? Ну что ж, повторяем все заново.
Oh, hey there. I didn't see you coming. So, how did it go? Did you find it? Where are we? We're at home, silly. Where else would we be? Just mommy, sister, you and me. Now tell me, how did it go? Did you find it? No? Pity. Maybe you're simply looking in the wrong places. Did you ever think of that? Oh, well, who knows? Say, why don't you go inside and see if you can help Mommy with the cooking? The Creator was kind to us today and sent a big fat elk right in front of my bow. All right? My, I totally forgot what a mess I left here. But I was right, wasn't I? A real gem we've got here. Well then, let's waste no more time and get to it, shall we? What? Now would you look at that? I totally forgot about them. They're dead, don't you remember? You murdered them back then, both of them. But hey, no use crying over spilled milk, right? At least this means there's more meat for the two of us. You still remember how to do this, right? First, off with the skin. Slice up the belly, then out with the entrails. I'll look for a nice sharp knife in the meantime, to cut off the head. I don't think either of us wants to eat that, do we? Oh, silly, what's this again? We both know that's a lie. You did it. I remember it all. First, you set this horrible fire to your sister's crib. She screamed and screamed, and Mommy heard it, but when she finally got there, nothing was left of her but burnt flesh. And, oh gosh, do we really need to go through this again? You know how sad it makes me when you do this. You killed them, period. No matter how often you tell me you didn't, it changes nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Now please, let's start cooking. I'm so bloody damn hungry. Oh, by the Creator's name, why are you telling these lies? Isn't it enough that you murdered us? Do you really have to bother me over and over with your stupid, pathetic, and pointless whining? You know, sometimes I wish the Creator would have made me just a little less merciful. Just a little less pious, because then I would have realized that you were tainted by sin long before any of this had ever happened. And instead of raising you, feeding you, and loving you like a father does, I would have put you in the horse trough right after you were born. Yes, I should have killed you. I should have just killed you. Just like you killed us. And now, you think you're safe because we're all under the earth, don't you? Well, listen up, my child. You are wrong. And do you know why? Because the dead don't forget. Do you hear me? The dead don't forget. Now,
enough of this useless chatter. I'm bloody starving. Bring me the meat, you spoiled brat. Bring it to me. Bring me a nice crisp piece of meat. 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 Bring me a nice crisp piece
Так,
of
по-моему, он
meat.
сильно болен.
Let's begin with a question. It might sound simple to you at first, but I pray you to think about it. What distinguishes a free man from a slave? For now, however, let us start this story where another one ended 3 years ago, with the death of the Lightborn. For 4,000 years they had reigned over this world, 7 arcanists who, through their magic, had acquired eternal life. In a time of chaos, they gave mankind what they thought it needed most. They ruled over with an ironclad, fair hand. Within just 1 century, they united the shattered lands, and a single century later, their human origin was forgotten. They became gods, or Lightborn, as they let themselves be worshipped as. Yet the longer they reigned, the louder the voices grew that accused them of tyranny, the loudest being that of Naranzul Aranthi. And he succeeded in achieving what was once thought impossible. He gathered an army, overturned the Lightborn, and gave back freedom to mankind. However, the price for this was high, because where there are gaps of power, fights erupt. As such, this world grew into what it is today, shattered, riven, and broken into pieces. But all of this was merely a diversion, so that no one would notice something else. The death of the Lightborn had set something into motion, a clockwork. Having long stood still, its gears now once again slowly began to turn. This is the story of someone who wanted to be free.
You wanna wake up the entire ship or what? Well, sorry. That was a bit harsh. I'm just nervous, that's all. It was that dream again, wasn't it?
Да, этот сон приснился.
Seriously, if we had a penny for every night since we met where you woke up screaming, we'd probably be traveling to Enderal in our own starship and... well, not like this. Some things never change, I guess. Do you ever ask yourself if maybe you blame yourself for all of this? For what happened to your family, I mean? As determined as ever. I guess you're right. But... who knows? Maybe everything is gonna be different now. It's strange, isn't it? The way life sometimes goes. Now, if you had told me that a few weeks ago, I would have at the very least called you insane. But if the stories are true, there's no better place for a fresh start. Can you believe it? Apparently there aren't even any slaves on Enderal. It's amazing. Only this whole blind passenger thing is making my head ache. Not our fault. Damn it, we're thieves. Frauds. And unlike you, I actually have a problem with that. But anyway, what's done is done. I just hope the Enderalians are easier on Outlanders than the Neramis are. Your mother was a fugitive as well, wasn't she? Where exactly did she come from? You've told me 100 times, but I just keep on forgetting it.
Так. Полукилиец. Так, что тут дальше? О, прикольно. Вот так вот оставим.
Araziel. Right, how could I have forgotten? She was one of the few free people who ever set foot on a ship. Anyway. Whew, I'm gonna hit the hay for an hour or so. It's your turn to stand... Wait. You hear that? Shit. Someone's coming!
Women nowadays just don't want a man to court them anymore. That's the problem. I tell you, sometimes I long for the good old days. Back when I could lift a skirt and nobody would bat an eye. Anyway, enough of the chit-chat. Now, where did I put that key?
Oh, blazes, what do they want down here? The lamp! Quickly! Put out the lamp! Good. Now, quiet.
Aha, here we go. Ah, smoke.
Блин, чё так темно?
I fought yours balls down here. Say now, what's that chest supposed to look like?
Small, with the crest of the Blue Island Coalition on it, I think.
Ah, yeah, right. Black Guardian knows what the captain wants it for this shortly before arriving. You go look upstairs. I'll see if I can find it down here.
Okay.
Oh, shit. They don't leave us any choice. We need to do something quick. You take on the old guy, I'll take the young one. Go!
What? Wait. Someone's there.
Throw a hook to the face! Come on, dodge! You can do it! Oh man. That wasn't part of the plan. Not at all. What in blazes are we going to do now? Yes, of course. That makes sense. One of them said it's not much longer until we arrive. With a little luck, no one will notice they're gone until then. Come on, help me search. There must be a rope or something. And I thought we were over the hump when we made it on board. It just can't ever be easy, can it?
Poor lost souls. The probabilities have turned against you.
What the? Who are you?
You are confused by my sudden appearance, but my identity is irrelevant. As are you, dear Sirius, unfortunately.
What? Oh shit, please don't tell anyone we're down here, please! We didn't mean any harm. These guys were just...
You ask that I not reveal you, for your intentions were not evil, and I believe you. But sadly, it's not compassion that rules my deeds. The first beat of a wing must happen. It is the only way the probabilities will fall into place. This is the way it has to be. The way it has been for eons. I am sorry.
What the?
Ой, куда-то полетели.
No! What are you doing, please? Please don't leave! We just wanted to...
Что-то случилось.
After we had left Osteen, the two of you hid in the cargo and lived on our stocks. Then when Rick and Sebald found you, you gave them a beating. And all of a sudden, a veiled woman appeared and knocked you out with wild magic. Is that about it?
Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Please, my dame, we didn't have a choice. You've got to believe us, the war, we just wanted a second chance, that's all.
A second chance. Yes, I think I understand you. You wanted to start a new life in a new land. And as my ship is one of the only ships still sailing the route since the wars, you were simply forced to board without paying.
Yes, we could work for you, you know? We could scrub the deck, peel potatoes, anything to pay off our debt. And as soon as we've arrived...
Heartbreaking. How truly, truly heartbreaking. But let's be honest. You did have a choice. You could have signed on like all the others did, but you didn't. Instead, you've nested on my ship like flesh maggots, enjoying the good life while my crew actually had to earn their keep. And now you're feeding me this bullshit about veiled women and wild magic? How stupid do you think I am? I know your kind. You are cutthroats, filchers. At least have the guts to admit it.
What? No. You're wrong. Please, just let me explain. I
don't give a shit for your explanations. If there's one thing I hate more than cowards, it's people trying to pluck my heartstrings. You two are scum. And there's only one kind of punishment for scum on my ship. Pull him up, Ruger.
But Captain, they...
Do it.
Of course, Captain. I'm sorry, lad. You should have stayed in their room.
But... You can't do this.
Oh, believe me, I can. Oh, well, look at that. Someone's woken up. Rise and shine. Tie him and his friend together and feed them to the fish. Good luck in your new life, friend.
Так, оглушили. Где это я?
is time to the dead and dreaming anyway.
So many people just talk, and
How
never
does it feel to be powerless?
This is about your damn pride, Tina.
I know I'm not real. At least not according to your definition.
I know damn well I'm Tina.
It's just and there was nothing I could do.
This isn't happening. But then again,
This just isn't happening.
What is reality anyway?
Selfish fool!
Какие-то глюки. Так, ничего тут нету. Ничего. Так, ну вот, мы оказались... Где мы оказались? Какой-то новый остров. Отличается от Скайрима. Ох, ни хрена он какой здоровенный. Стой. Да это еще не он. Прикольно сделали. Так, найдите какой-то материк. Ой, это что такое? Так, очки опыта. Уровень первый. Прикольная система прокачки. Так, в избранные. Ого, ножик. Ножик получше будет. Так, что-то с мышкой надо по-другому сделать. Так, какие-то руины. Бочки пустые. Ух ты! Извини, не видел. Чердейская лихорадка, это что такое? Так, что-то я пока еще не вкуриваю. Так. Факел. Затушить. Не вижу ничего. Где эти крысы было? Подниковая крыса. Офигенно. Куда-то пошли. Даже эту крысу в траве не увидел. Так, возьмите книгу. Какую книгу? Где книга-то? Не вижу. Так, а что делать? О, что-то здесь, что ли? Так, что-то происходит. Упс, вернул. Что-то интересное. Так, факел выключим на всякий случай. Вроде себе дать. Так, где у нас лук? Стрелы одеваем, лук в избранное и у ножа 4, а у кирки где кирка? У кирки, подожди, атака урон 3, а нож урон 3, понятно. Так, давайте назад вернуться. Посмотрим все-таки все подземелье. Что у нас тут интересно еще есть? Так, вот здесь что-то у нас было еще. Что это? Так, а где у нас вот книги? Так, и что за магия у нас? Тоже в избранной. Так, ну это обычно молния. Так, чародейская лихорадка 24%. 26. Что это такое, пока еще не понимаю. Так, а у меня закончились, да? Что выпить можно? Я так понимаю, чародейская лихорадка-то будет плохо. Народ, всем привет, кто меня сейчас смотрит. Скажите, меня нормально слышно? И игру. Так, мох какой-то. Почему яркость не работает? Наверное, выходить из игры надо там включать яркость больше. Так, трупы и свет, они исчезли, что не понял. Так, я ни хрена ничего не вижу. Давайте факел все-таки оденем. Куда-то вышли. Так, что у нас тут еще? Что это такое? Что за устройство? Переносимый вес. Так, еда. Даже где лединку быть? По имени. Угу, слопали. Судя по всему, вниз. А, не его дверь. Нет, это я отсюда пришел. Да, я отсюда пришел. Судя по всему, реально вниз. Так, это мельница, что ли? Что за магия, милость? Так, изучить надо. Понятно. Еще одна кирка. Ну ладно. Чё где? Что-то у нас появилось. Вас заметили? Кто где? Вас заметили. Прыгай. Че его так не убить? Так, а у меня есть банки? Что он делает? Успели. Пустой. Что-то новенькое. Так, тыквы и грибы. А какие грибы собрать? О, тыкву нашел одну. Вторую. Третья. Забавно. Так, где еще одна тыква? Внизу. Так, ну пока здоровье. Теперь надо грибочки. Так, и... Шесть очков обучения. И как же их раскидывать-то? Ладно, потом разберемся постепенно. Так, а какие грибы-то собрать? Чего, сок? Нормально так, прикольно. Как один грибочек нашел какой-то. Так, что у нас тут? Так, а где еще грибы? Сколько я собрал грибов? Один. А вот, нашел еще один. Теперь вижу, но ничего не похоже. Так, все Все собрали. Так, используй ловушки. Ага. И что у нас такое? Солнечный берег. А, все понятно. Спасибо. Ловушки вещь хорошая. Вытягивание жизни. Что она дает у нас? Тоже вызвано. Блин. Так, а что сюда падать? Ничего тут другого нету. Куда мы идем-то? Найдите выход из ущелья. Ну давайте поищем. Светлячки. Так, дорога куда-то. Так, слышу звук корня нервно, да? Блин. Кто заметил меня? И куда это мы поднялись? Ух ты, какая луна. Чуть не убил. Блин. Откуда этот звук идет? Ты кто? Это что такое? Что это такое?
Now would you look at that? I knew I'd seen someone scrambling in the mountains. What brings you here, my sir? Who am I? Finn Delires, apothecarius by my path. Pleased to meet you. And you are at Sun Coast, in the south of Enderal. Where are you from? But wait, don't tell me. I know that accent. Nerim, isn't it?
There we go. Everything's locked up. At least for the night we should. Wait a second. Who's that?
Just an adventurer on his way. No reason to worry.
No reason to worry? For heck's sake, Finn. How do you know that this guy isn't with the bandits? You said you'd call me if anyone showed up. And now you're standing here, having a chat with him as if this were the bathing house of Ark.
Lo and behold, we are still alive. Now, is there anything else, Carbos?
I've got my eye on you. Touch any of our stuff, and you'll regret it. Unbelievable.
May I present Carbos, as he lives and breathes. Sorry about that just now. That's just how he is. In any case, if you don't need any more help, I'd suggest you move on. Follow the way east behind the dam house. It'll lead you to a village called Riverville. Ah, here, take this. Truth be told, you don't look so healthy. Your eyes... well, whatever. There's something peculiar about you. I don't know how else to say it. I would examine you myself, but we don't have the right equipment with us. So if I were you, I'd ask a priest in Riverville to have a look at you. Who knows? Maybe you caught something in that temple. By the Black Guardian, you really are an outlander, aren't you? My path is... well, it's just me path. My role designated to me by Malthus. A kind of calling, if you will. Not exactly. Malthus designates our place in society, generally the same one our fathers and forefathers occupied. I walk the path of the erudites, and there's also the manufacturers, the sublimes, and, of course, the pathless. Within these roles, we are free to choose a profession, but certain vocations that are available to an erudite are not permitted to a manufacturer, which is one path below. However, below does not mean that it is in any way inferior. Everyone on Enderal does what they do best, and who would know better than the gods what exactly that is? Well, I didn't come up with it. Well, what can I tell you? This is the Sun Coast, in the south of Enderal. A pretty peaceful area, except for all the animals and bandits that have recently started going crazy. And, well, that's pretty much it. I think you should ask the people in Riverville if you want to know more. They certainly have some stories to tell. To an adventurer? If you ask me, what you need before you adventure anywhere is some good old-fashioned shut-eye. But yes, there are some places. The Three River Watch, for example, right there below the stone arch. It was once an old trading post, but now it's full of shady characters. Ah, and there's also a big Pyrian ruin south of it. Don't mention it. I wish you a quick recovery and safe roads. Walk blessed. Carbos, do we need the still tomorrow? Or can I clean all the tools?
Blazes, Finn, I'm playing.
Вот Carbos где.
Don't bother me.
I guess that means no.
Так, и что с ней делать?
By the righteous path. What happened to you? You look as if you've met the Black Guardian himself. Fever? Well, there could be many causes. Wait a moment. I think I still have some grunt root. That should be enough to ease your pain, at least for now. Take a seat at the fire. The warmth might help you.
Oh, so now we're brewing potions for complete strangers.
Well, if the strangers are about to die of fever, then yes. There was that oath we swore once, remember? To help the afflicted, to...
Whatever.
Thank you. Gruntroods, Gruntroods. Ah, here we go. So, let's see. Sheer cup, some water. Ha! Done. I can't make any promises, but...
Finn! The still!
Explore... Do something, damn it! Do something! Oh, no! Oh, sod it.
Так, что это произошло?
That was a fucking close call.
Hey, I'm sorry, all right. We'll pick up a new one in Ark.
Yeah. You're paying for it. Here I thought this bloody day couldn't get any worse.
This day isn't getting any better. Here, drink this. It'll help you. See, you already look a lot better. Still, you should let a priest take a look at that fever as soon as possible. The grunt root potion will wane in a few days. What? You mean the still? Bad quality and too much heat, I'd wager. But, whatever will be, will be. Explosion? I'm not sure I follow.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Finn Dalaris died in 8234. Cause of death, exploding still.
Ha ha. Look, I really don't know what you're talking about. Maybe...
Wait a second. What was that?
Так, что это было?
I could have sworn I saw something moving over there. Oh shit!
What the? Carbos!
They've hit me, Finn. Those bastards. They've hit me.
Carbos, do something, damn it!
Ох, ни хрена. Что произошло-то?
Now would you look at that? Our mysterious survivor has awoken. Jaspar Matumiel Delveric. Jaspar for short. And you, my friend, are in my very own campsite. And before you ask, yes, the bandits killed both of the apothecary. The only reason you're still alive is that the impact of the explosion threw you right into a thicket. Luckily enough, most of your injuries are only superficial, and I've already taken care of them. Your fever, though, is an entirely different story.
Так, что это у нас?
Yep, quite a lot, actually. You're suffering from first-degree Arcanist's fever. I'm quite surprised that the old apothecarius didn't see that, to be honest. You're suddenly capable of doing things you previously knew only from the bard songs, right? And you're feeling unusually strong and dizzy at the same time? While drinking herbal potions leaves a, well,
У меня нормально.
a
У
bitter
тебя как дела?
feeling in your head. Yep, your magical talent has broken free inside you. I don't have any myself, but I've worked together with enough arcanists to know the signs. Simply put, what's happening is that your body can't cope with the magic.
Что случилось?
This isn't much of a problem at first, but if you don't do anything about it within the next couple of months, you'll find yourself running through the heartland naked, throwing fireballs at everything that moves. You'll lose your mind, to speak plain and all. Yes, of course. Though someone who's magically gifted will always react differently to certain situations than someone who isn't. As I said, some herbs will always worsen your fever, as will magically contaminated areas. Among other things, yes. Just as being magically gifted can make a person powerful, it can also make them sensitive and prone to certain conditions. Just don't overdo it sleeping in ruins or in the wilderness. Instead, set up a camp somewhere. Plus, as you've already said yourself, don't overdo it with potions. Well, that depends on how bad it gets. At first, you'll suffer these diffuse headaches from time to time. Then your sight will permanently blur. And then you'll suffer a case of acute death, so to speak. Yep, everything has its price, as the wise hermit likes to say. What? No, that won't help you in the long run. What you need is ambrosia. A special mixture of herbs that can remedy the fever without the side effects. Every good alchemist has that in stock, but it'll cost you. Visions? No. Well, none that I know of. The only visions I ever had were those that come along with a good pipe of peace weed. You know what? Someone has to take care of your fever. And as it happens, I know someone who could. But in return, I want you to tell me everything. How did you get here? What did you do in that temple? And what exactly did you see in those visions? I can't put my finger on it, but there's something strange about you, and that makes me curious. So, healing for information. What do you say? Then shoot. I'm eager to listen. I understand. My condolences for your loss. So that means you somehow survived this execution. And before you got washed ashore, you had this, what, this dream? In which you saw burnt bodies and a blinding light. I hope so. So your magical outburst didn't happen slowly as it usually does, but all of a sudden after this near-death experience. And with it came these visions. Interesting. I guess you know how absurd all this must sound, but somehow I believe you. Heck knows why, but I do. So, that means I'll introduce you to my employer. If anyone can help you, it's him. There is, however, one thing with which I could use a hand. The sooner we get that done, the sooner we can start our journey to Ark. Ark? The capital of this country? Walls high as towers of iron-hard stone, rest alone in the mountains in granite enthroned, never decaying, the ages surveying, guarded by the Lord, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. If you plan on staying in this land, sooner or later you'll see it with your own eyes.
Так, знания собираем еще.
Splendid. There are some things that need some explanation before we can get started, however. Where should I start? I take it you've noticed that in the past 2.5 years, this world has fallen into political chaos, right? Civil wars, usurpers everywhere, you name it. And even though Enderal isn't directly affected by these wars going on everywhere, there are strange things happening here too. Take the Woods-Ears, for example. There have been an unusual number of reports of wanderers being attacked by them in the open, which has never happened before. And the same goes for the lost ones.
Посмотрю, что за игра.
Until 2 years ago, they were a rather rare magical phenomenon. But now every other corpse not properly cremated starts walking again as if it were the most natural thing to do. The strangest thing, however, is what they call the Red Madness. Yeah, it's some kind of mental illness that makes people lose their minds. Just a couple of weeks ago, for instance, there was a smith in Ark who slaughtered his entire family. He was drunk, but that doesn't explain why he screamed things like, "Fear the light," while he was doing it. Or a young noblewoman who killed herself by setting her family estate on fire for no apparent reason. Now, you might say that these kinds of things happen, but by now there have been more than a dozen of them. That and the fact that the possessed's eyes glow red shortly before and during their deed has made people call it the Red Madness. And just 3 days ago it happened again. Only this time it was a magister from within the Holy Order itself. Right, you're not from here. A magister is a kind of sage from the Holy Order, who teaches the young novices who are aspiring to become keepers or arcanists. Yarrow was his name, a man who had more than 60 winners on his back. He killed 15 novices and himself. According to the only eyewitness to survive, he entered the teaching room as usual to give a lecture on alchemy. But instead, he gave a strange speech in which he explained that humanity is corrupt, void, as he put it. Then his eyes started glowing, he locked the door, and, well, he tore himself apart with a magical explosion. You can imagine the kind of uproar that caused. Well, I'm not exactly one for vows and austerity, so no, I'm no keeper. I guess you could say my specialty is recovering things that have been lost. Treasures, tomes, memories, and the like. And the Order hired me to do exactly that. They want to know how a highly intelligent man like Yarrow could fall victim to the Red Madness. And also if there's a discernible pattern to how this malady, or whatever it is, chooses its victims.
Да,
True,
болтовни
but
тут
that's irrelevant.
больше, чем в
Yarrow grew up in
Skyrim
a small
самом.
village named Riverville, which isn't far from here. And according to some of the other wardens, he visited this area quite often after his partner's death. So it's quite possible we could find some clues around here. Shards of his past, if you like. I've already searched most of the area, but a second pair of eyes wouldn't hurt. What do you think? Well, for starters, I need you to travel to Riverville and talk to an old man named Alfred. He was a childhood friend of Yarrow's, and he might be able to tell us something worthwhile. Secondly, a boy from the village told me that he saw Yarrow throw something into the water near a cliff to the east. Go there and see if you can find whatever it was he wanted to get rid of. I myself will have a look at the house Yarrow grew up in.
Недолго буду
Here,
строить,
this is
потом
a
пойду
map of the
спать.
region.
Хочу
The blue
отдохнуть
dot
немного.
over here is Yarrow's old house. And
Еще,
at
наверное,
the risk
минут
of sounding
20.
heartless, you should head back to the apothecary's camp. Maybe the bandits left behind some equipment. If there's nothing else, I'd say off we go. Let's shed some light on this Yarrow and his motivations. Meet me at his old house when you're ready. I'll be waiting there.
Все понятно. Легкое задание. Так. Тыква. Че он мне дал? Ну, надо найти ссылку нормальную, чтобы скачать. Я когда по ней перехожу, она говорит, что ошибка. Так, амброзия, она здесь есть. Так, что мы там с лихорадкой-то? Так, а куда мы бежим? Ух, ни хрена, как далеко-то. Так, у нас задание только одно. Так, здесь убитые. Нифига, в нем стрел сколько. Так, броню давай. Перчатки, одеянные бодяги, отмычка, стрелы. О, длинный лук уже лучше. Длинный лук в избранное. все будем продавать. А где этот чувак, который от взрыва улетел? Так, этот голый. Кстати, я скайп что-то в последнее время не могу зайти. Мне ошибку выдает. Типа, время ожидания истекло. Попробуйте в следующий раз. Надо разобраться со скайпом что-то. Я уж давно в него не заходил. Блин, один труп найден. А где еще один труп? А вот, нашел. Так, о, амброзию заберем. Так, исследуем мир. Что у нас тут есть такое? Снова установить. Попробуем. Так, ну что же, пошли дальше. ТСки нету, надо скачивать. Блин, да где этот корень нервно шумит? Дом стул какой-то. Кольчуга. Отлично. Так хотя бы. Уже есть возможность выжить. Пила. Заблудился. А, во. А, здесь корень вина называется. Так, что это у нас? Так, не знаю для чего, но пригодится. Пока все собираем, так как не знаем, что. Больно. Больно. Бьют. Так, что у нас? Паучий яд. Что он делает? А, вот как это надо было делать. Ботинки, ботинки. Чепчик. Так, плюс 6. Зелье, зелье, зелье. Скачать ТС. Надо будет скачать. Смотреть, как она сейчас работает. Так, географический обзор какой-то. Так, книжка. Что за книжка? Да, у меня 4-битный комп. О, получил выстрела. Амброзия нам нужна. Так, давайте часочек поспим. Ну, здоровье восстановили. Отлично. Утюг. Ничего больше нету тут. Залутали домик. И... А, вон куда надо вообще было идти. Внизу. Давайте еще вниз залутаем. Все пусто. Можно теперь идти смело. Так, нам куда-сюда? Наверное. Ты получишь мне в личку скинул. Так, мертвая коза. Пожрать, вот. Жертвовали корнина, так, сыроежка. Урон запасы сил не то. Так, а где на тыква? А вот он. Ну что ж, побежали. Ох, нихера. Так, козел. Хорошо. Так, что у нас тут? Отмычка, деньги. Блин, как они этих разбойников много тут. Железные перчатки, отлично. Отмычка, стрела и денежка. Побежали дальше. Блин, и как это все? И как качать-то левел? Так, тут у нас крабовые палочки бегают. Так, что у нас из ингредиентов есть? Медь, больно. Так, сейчас больно будет. Больно. Он еще и регенерирует. Жесть. Что в Skyrim, что здесь жестокие тролли. Так, старый лагерь Трухрек. Что у нас тут? Мертвые. Бутылочку жизни нужно. Так. Капюшон бродяги. Давай Давайте заглянем, что у нас в этой пещере находится. Интересно, по-тихому получится? Не получится. Убили. Кто где еще? Ох, как больно. Стальная стрела. Ну что ж, народ, будем завершаться пока что. Всем большое спасибо, кто меня смотрел. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Всем